Hi, and welcome to the Northwest Georgia High School Football Scoreboard. I'm Benton Burge, and I'm joined here by Mr. Chris Napier of Team FYN Sports and North Murray representative. I'm the Team FYN Sports Chattooga representative. Lawrence will be joining us. I think he's on a family vacation, but he's going to jump in and hopefully uh,
Not get in trouble.
not get in trouble by his wife. But we should hear from him earlier. Had some interesting games tonight. Chris was out at the North Murray game. You want to go over what happened there, Chris?
Yeah, North Murray won 56-17 over LFO. Seth Griffin had a 5-touchdown pass first half. And they really jumped out ahead there. Jaden Rice and Ethan Dempsey are two guys who's had big games here lately. They did it again tonight. LFO had some offensive struggles. They turned the ball over. There was several fumbles that set North Murray up in really good position, field position, and Griffin's a great quarterback. I mean, he just found a way to put the ball in the end zone quickly, and they got out ahead real quick there at half. Trayvon Gott had a kickoff return for a touchdown that looked really good. I didn't have my phone out. I was texting the touchdown that just happened, so I didn't have any video of it.
I hate that. I hate the quick ones because you can't get back to back.
Yeah. So, but that's how it ended up. And then across 6A or 6-3A, the biggest game we were watching in the region play was Sonoraville at Adairsville.
Tell me about it.
Sonoraville led that game most of the game, 14-0. Adairsville had a huge comeback. I don't know who were all the guys involved in that, but the final score there was Adairsville 21, Sonoraville 14.
Somebody join us and tell us how that happened. 21 points in the fourth quarter by Adairsville.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to know how that all unfolded. I know that Lafayette was at home against Coahulla Creek, and they won that. I had a score on that earlier, if I can find it. Let me see if I can pull that score up. Yeah, 22-14 Lafayette over Coahulla Creek. I know that Jalen Ramsey had a couple touchdowns where he got away from him. It's hard to keep him in check. I think he had a 75-yard touchdown run. And Rockmart was at Murray County. I think Rockmart won that game 72-0. It was 55 or 56-0 at the half. So that was a pretty big blowout win for Rockmart.
All right, looks like we got our first visitor here. We got Charles Israel. Charles, how's it going?
It's going good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How'd your game go tonight?
It was a entertaining game. Went up to Bremen and watched Callaway and Bremen go head to head, and started off kind of slow. Both teams turned the ball over a little bit. Callaway was making some mistakes, getting some penalties early on, but then they just kind of took over the game and they ended up with about 5 turnovers, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, one of them a pick six, and a block punt. Just kind of take over the game and run away from Bremen. Bremen moved the ball at times good, but other than one drive, just couldn't punch it in.
Do you think there was a little motivation from last week's loss? Callaway carried over to Bremen there.
Yeah, there was some motivation, but also I think it's a better matchup. Sometimes teams just don't match up, and I think Haralson County is kind of a the bad matchup for Callaway. They just have problems matching up.
I think they're a lot more physical.
Yeah.
And here's a guy that knows a lot about that.
Callaway's Callaway can get a little physical, but they're all about speed.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been a fast team. Because you got Tank down there at Auburn right now, and Braylon Sanders out of Ole Miss. Both of them came out of Callaway.
Yeah, they're known for putting the athletes out. That's for sure.
Yeah, Terry Godwin.
Mm-hmm.
So they've just always been a speed team, and that physicality of Haralson just slows them down, and it's just a bad matchup for them. But Bremen's a little bit better of a matchup. I'm a little nervous of our matchup with Herd when we play Callaway at the end of the year. I don't think it's the best matchup. I think we match up better with Haralson than we do with Callaway.
Yeah. DJ, you was at your game tonight. How'd that game go?
Sorry, my mic was muted.
You're good, man.
First, I want to shed a little light on Haralson County. It was their first home game back after losing legendary Coach Vaughan. I had the privilege of playing under him for 2 years. I just want to shed a little light on his name because he was a great person, great coach, and deserves the love. I love him. I wish his family the best, and I'm praying for them every day as they recover. Secondly, Haralson County did kind of the same thing they did with Callaway. They forced turnovers early. They forced, penalties that really hurt Temple. Jumped out 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Clay Hott, in the first quarter, he had a 38-yard touchdown run and a 10-yard touchdown run, and then also a 54 touchdown run from Wesley Cole. And then going in to halftime, Haralson County was up 35-0. Temple was able to punch it in with Cam Vaughn rushing in from about 8 yards out to get Temple on the board late in the second quarter. Going into the third quarter, Temple came out firing, kind of the same that Callaway did last week. Came off being able to drive the ball downfield. Cam Vaughn threw I think it was a 11-yard pass touchdown to number 11 to put Temple at their final score of the night at 14. And then Clay Hott connected with Wesley Cole on a 34-yard touchdown pass. Wesley had another 59-yard rushing touchdown. So the Haralson County game, it was a lot of physicality. The offensive line played amazing. Shout out to Eli and Riley. I'm offensive lineman, so I always try to give love to the boys in the trenches. And tonight, that was really the difference on both sides of the ball, the defensive line and offensive line. Right there at the end, there's actually a highlight where Clay is literally bullying the guy from Temple 10, 15 yards downfield. And you see Clay bullying the guy, but what you don't see is what set up that play. Eli and Riley had a great down block that leveled 3 people. They pancaked 3 people between the two of them. And it was the same thing week in and week out from Haralson County's own line. You're taught. I know that offense. I was taught the offense. It's like Mr. Charles was saying. With the physicality thing, is Coach Peavy always preached. They're going to stop it the first time, the second time, the third time. But when you get into the 32nd, the 33rd, the 34th time, they're not going to be able to stop it because nobody's going to want to go out and play. 4 quarters of football of just getting straight punched in the mouth every play. But taken away from this game, I talked on the FYN podcast about, I thought that if Temple played a good game, it could be another game like they had last year where they took them in the 3 overtimes. Temple came out sluggish. And I thought Haralson County would be that team that came out sluggish after a big win at Callaway. But the boys came out ready. It was a great game. I talked to Coach Peavy after, about looking forward to Heard County, and it's like Mr. Charles was saying, Heard County is a big team. It's hard to match up with them. They're physical. They got speed. They got talent. They got the athletes, just like Callaway got. So, I feel like that game. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game on both sides of the ball. And
Is that
that's
next
really
week or when does that game come?
Yeah, that's just coming Friday
Nice.
at Heard County.
Yes, it's at Heard County, and then Haralson County has a bye week, if I'm not mistaken, and then Bremen comes to Haralson.
Sweet. Big game next week for sure.
It is, and that's what I was talking to my wife and her dad about. These next two games are the games to where you get home field advantage, or you got to travel on the road. And in the playoffs, home field advantage is a big leg up. So I hope they get it. I hope they get it done. And I hope that they come out for the first. I think I seen an article where if they win the region this year, not going to say they do, because you can never in Northwest Georgia, you can never be too sure about but this would be their first region championship in since 1968. So if they can get it done, it'll be amazing for Coach Peavy, and this is their fourth straight year in the playoffs, first time in school history. So
sweet. Well, I appreciate y'all joining us. I got a couple more waiting in line. I'm going to throw them on here, and y'all welcome to hang out, and we're going to talk about some other games.
Well, Benton, I told you earlier I've been up forever, so
man.
I'm gonna jump off and go to bed, and y'all have a great night. And DJ, are you gonna be down in Heard next week?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be at Heard next week.
All right, I'd love to meet up with you. I don't miss a Heard County game, so.
Yes, sir. Anytime, just let me know.
All right,
y'all appreciate it, guys.
Hey, appreciate it, Charles. We'll see you.
All right.
All righty.
What's up, guys?
Levi, Burdock, and Lawrence Morgan.
How you guys doing? How's
it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
You got me?
Yeah, I'm definitely anxious to hear more about this. My Sonoraville Phoenix were up 14-0. I felt like I had some redemption coming. They were handling Adairsville, and they melt and give up 3 touchdowns and a big come from behind win for Adairsville. I need to know what happened to my guys out there at the Furnace.
Yeah, me and Chris were talking about it earlier. We hadn't had anybody give us any information on that, but big time comeback.
Yeah, I guess Benton, you and I were both at the same game, so I'm pretty sure you saw what I saw. Region 7 AA just cleared out a good hurdle right there as the Indians. You talk about handling. It looked like the first half of that game was going to go tit for tat as both offenses drove down pretty easy and scored.
Man, I thought we were going to see 56 to 55 or something like that. At first, I thought, oh, man.
Yeah. And then
whose defense is going to show?
Things changed when it was 14 to 13, and my boy Rowan Burdock blocked his second PAT of the season, and kind of came running back to the sidelines, fired up. It was a real nice battle of girl kickers. The Indians and Dade County both have girls named Caroline as kickers, and both of them are real solid. Of course, Caroline Hodges is almost money in the bank now. She's booting 35-yarders like they're nothing. So when Rowan blocked that PAT and came back fired up, the Indians kind of turned things around a little bit, and the second half just seemed to really dominate there. My big shout-out was to LaShawn Lester. He entered the game just 207 yards shy of Chattooga's all-time rushing record held by Isaiah Foster, and he picked up 198 yards in this game.
Wow. One more carry.
Yeah, he was the healthiest I've seen all year.
Beautiful. Was it not beautiful?
Made a big difference. I think I've seen some dead legs and some spin moves, and I ain't seen that, Yeah, all I've seen all year is some hammy grabs.
He looked like the Lester of old, and the combo of having him back there with Nick Hester and Devin Heroach, every time they thought they had Hester and Lester figured out, Hiroch would just pound it up the middle. And there in the fourth quarter, Hiroch was dragging 3-4 Wolverines 5 and 6 yards at a time down the field just to move the chains and keep the clock running. Very good job by the Indians of finishing the game strong. And they're now in a position to play for a region title next week again, which is a de facto region championship game against Fannin County. And Benton, you may correct me. It's been over 20 years that they've even been in a position to play for one. Is that not correct?
It's been a while. It was before my time. I can tell you that.
Well over 40 years since they won one.
Yeah.
We can research that and put it up this week.
You do that, Chris.
Talk about it in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I can figure that one out.
One thing I will say is, Dave, man, it seemed like they get that formation tight and they would run. The yards they got were behind. I mean, it was like you couldn't get to them. They just kind of stayed behind the blockers, and then here come 5 or here come 20, running the ball. And
how impressed were you with Caden Cooper running the ball?
Yeah, the quarterback was athletic, man. I mean, he was. I know one time he got to the edge with a nice stiff arm, and he's 6 foot plus, moving around pretty good. He was impressive.
Yeah, and Caden Cooper is barely 5'8", maybe 150, 160.
The other guy, 5.
And he ran that ball with some serious power. I mean, Chattooga held them to one of their lowest rushing totals. They had about 125 total yards on the ground, but once they fell behind, it was Brody Cooper, the quarterback, who went to the air, and I know they put up 75 yards passing in the second half.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, I would say
but
so.
Nick Hester came down with his 4th interception of the season to seal the game and shut down any chance they had with probably about 3 minutes remaining on the clock, and then the Indians were able to just kind of wind it up.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a huge game next week. Obviously, you spoke about it, going to Fannin County. Fannin, they'll have the stands loaded. Hopefully, we'll have a big crew travel up from Somerville to Fannin. And like you said, kind of the de facto region championship game. I mean, barring a Pepperell sticking their nose in it.
Yeah, and keep in mind here, if Chattooga is able to beat Fannin, then regardless of what happens in the final game with Pepperell, Chattooga will be the region champion. Yeah. And Pepperell already has 2 region losses. So even with a head-to-head loss to Pepperell, if Chattooga can manage to win this one, it will be a region title for them. And I saw Fannin County handled Model about the same way Chattooga did. I think Chattooga beat them 40-3. Fannin County beat them 35-7. I think was the final.
Sorry, I seen that comment and I had to put that one on there.
So, if I can't talk about this young man for a second, this young man was pretty much like my little kid when I was a senior. He was a freshman. He was just getting started out. This kid is so special. I love him to death. Like I treat him as like my own daughter, but he's my son. Eddie's an amazing person. And shout out. I do owe him a shout out. Shout out to him. He picked up. I talked about it. He picked up an offer from Stetson, his first D1 offer, his first offer altogether. And then this past week, he picked up another D1 offer from Presbyterian, along with Clay Hyatt and Riley Bell. So shout out to Eli and all 3 of them. Well deserved. And I'm so glad as a Haralson County guy that Haralson County is coming one of them spots that college coaches go to look at recruits. And for the second comment with the Daresville Athletics, I asked them because I followed them and I played against them, and they scored all 21 of their points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. On the road, right? Correct?
No, it was at home. It was out of Daresville.
Okay. That's what they're saying. It was electric atmosphere.
Yeah.
Man.
They definitely had the home field advantage there, but I didn't know if it was Eli Agnew or who was scoring their points.
Chris Roper's another guy. Jonathan Go. I mean, they've got several weapons, so that's why I'm interested to hear how they got 21 points on the board in the quarter.
I messaged him to ask so that we could verify who all scored for them.
I'll see if I can find anything.
Yeah,
Normally,
Benton and I have watched that the one game with them opening up with Chattooga, and they were a little. I wouldn't say they were a little flat. It was just a tight game. It was 0-0 at the half, but they are a second half team, and they exploded with 35 points in the second half. But their special teams was really big because Eli Agnew kept getting huge returns and giving them short fields to work. I mean, he was returning the ball down to the Chattooga 30, 20-yard line, and it just eating them up. So it was a lot of, good special teams play that kept them scoring rapidly in the third and fourth quarter against Chattooga. But it sounds here like 21 points in a tight ball game in the fourth quarter. Man, that's an explosive offense. I wonder if they forced some turnovers on defense.
I'm looking through now. I got some stuff here. Let's see. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep looking here.
They scored. They tied it up with 7:46 left in the fourth. So, they scored pretty back to back, 4-minute period right there in the fourth quarter that they scored 2 touchdowns.
I've really been high on Jackson Pate, his development as a young quarterback. 355 yards passing last week. Even if it's against a bad team, it showed that Pate, and I've watched him play, the kid's got some accuracy, he's got some power. And whenever you got Zach Lyle in your backfield, I mean, the Sonoraville can move the football. To me, they just look like a solid playoff team. But this loss right here and a loss to North Murray, it's really got them behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, and they also lost to Rockmart, so they've got 3 losses right now.
And still have Ringgold to play.
This is I got the transcript right here. I'm gonna try to read it off so it's not boring as I'll get out. It looks like starting the fourth quarter, maybe with about 10 minutes left. It was 4th down. Dyersville. Dyersville had the ball on the Sonoraville 9-yard line. They went for it on 4th down, and they completed a 9-yard touchdown pass to make it 14-6. They went for 2. I don't know if it was a bad snap on the extra point. It says did not get it. It's 14-6. And then let's see what their next score was.
It was 7:46. They tied it up 14-14.
So they must have scored and gone for 2
again.
The ball
over. It looks like they turned the ball over on their own 43-yard line, and Dyersville went down and immediately scored again, like he said, with about 7-something left to go.
So I wonder if they turned it over on downs right there, if Sonoraville was crazy and went for it, or if there was just a turnover.
Yeah.
It says that Dyersville takes the ball on Sonoraville's 43, so they didn't really.
I felt like for a Dyersville to win the game, they were going to have to come up with some big defensive plays, and a turnover in the fourth quarter would qualify to me as a very big play by your defense.
It was a pass completion. It doesn't say to who it was to score the second touchdown. And then Jonathan Go, the quarterback, rushed for a 2-point conversion to tie it up. And then the last touchdown. Sorry, I'm just reading this as it goes. Another passing touchdown with under a minute to go.
Wow.
Grayson Belcher. Yeah, he was a baller, man. He was a baller.
Yeah. Ended 21-14.
Yeah. So that's 3. So Jonathan
sounds
Go
like
has 3 passing touchdowns. Yeah.
Yep. 3 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
I really felt like the linebackers for Sonoraville were going to be enough to stop the run game. I did not anticipate Dyersville having 3 passing touchdowns.
This guy here says, I don't know if you already pulled this up, but blocked field goal with 39 seconds and scored a touchdown with 10 seconds left.
Wow.
So that's how they turned the ball over. And then I'm not sure if they're talking about this particular game, but it was it
was an onside kick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where they got the ball at the 40.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
And then Mr. Billy Sattermore says, Levi, you better show some love to the D-line.
Hey, That's all I do, man. I said before the game, the difference maker was going to be Billy Settlemore, Carter Lowenberg, and Xander Cook. And let me tell you, Billy Settlemore and Xander Cook, they flushed Brody Cooper out of the pocket every single snap. I mean, Cooper had no time to get out. He was rolling out. He was running, and Carter Lowenberg was there to get the sacks.
Yeah.
If you drive the length of the field with no timeouts, because if you block a field goal, you're down there pretty close. No timeouts.
No timeouts.
In 39 seconds. Well, 29 seconds.
Yeah, you got to give it up to Adairsville's passing game there, man. That's electric, dude. I can see where he had the home crowd fired up.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Very good.
All righty. I'm going to
Is that
go
not
ahead.
to interrupt, is that the region there? Rockmart, North Murray,
yeah.
and Adairsville and Ringo and them?
Shoot, there's a ton of them in that region.
There's about 200 teams in 6-3A.
Well, we've been talking about this. There's 5 teams in there that are legitimate playoff teams that could all win their first round of playoffs. You know, between if your 3 bad teams are Sonoraville, Adairsville, and probably North Murray, that's 3 incredibly good bad teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
They got to go over and play Region 8 in the first round of the playoffs, and that's not going to be fun. That's a tough region. So it's going to take a lot of work to prepare for that. Whoever the 4 are, and we'll know who the 4 are here soon.
Well, and I believe Region 7 AA goes on and plays Region 5 AA. Is that not correct, Ben?
Yes.
That is correct. That's DJ and them. That's
you talk about not a pretty swap up there. If you don't get 1 or 2, you might as well go ahead and phone that one in.
Yeah.
Isn't that one the one with Rayburn and all them?
No. We're talking about 7 AA goes to 5 AA. They go to Haralson, Bremen.
So our number 4 team is going to be playing Haralson. You know,
3 teams going to Callaway. Dave's probably on the way to Callaway right now.
Yep.
And that's what we've been. I was telling everybody. I was telling them. You know, it's this is that main push where you want to get that home field advantage because it's going to be tough to go on the road and knock off somebody.
Well, I can promise you it's going to be a whole lot tougher for the guys in Region 7 AA to make that trip to 5 AA.
Yeah.
5 AA is a powerful region. I mean, we're talking about 6 AAA. 5 AA, 3 of these teams are capable of winning state championships in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think I think we could see another one out of 5 AA.
Chris, I'm totally on board with you. I feel like Haralson is unstoppable.
Yeah. I don't want to talk it up too much. I don't want to jinx it. You know, I'm kind of super.
Yeah, I'm a huge Clay Hyatt fan.
I am a huge Clay Hyatt
wrestling
fan.
Championship. I've watched this guy. He's just a world. I can't believe more colleges aren't beating down his door.
I think it's coming.
I do too, and the kid's well deserved it. He was over 1,100 yards just last week alone. You know, well, not in one game, but in the season. So, you know, he had 202 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns against a very good Callaway team, and that's a light very good because they're great. I mean, they're a great team.
Well, let me put things in perspective for the guys from Region 5 AA. Region 7 AA, Fannin, until tonight, none of the teams had beat a team with a winning record. Fannin County has yet to be. They played one team with a winning record, and that was Sonoraville, and Sonoraville beat them 35-7. I mean, 35-0. So Chattooga just got their first win over a team with a winning record. Dade still doesn't have one, and neither does nobody does. Nobody in the region has a win over a team with a winning record. So to me, that's just the sign that Region 7 AA is still struggling to earn their bones. You know,
they'd stepped out of state and played South Pittsburgh. They might have a winning record, but
you know what? I think you're right there. Yeah. I'll give them that.
Yeah, sorry.
And I believe that. I think that they were 3-2 when Dade beat them. You're right.
Yeah, they're Max Prep's got them at 4-1, but I don't know why. it should be more games than that. But anyway, I just thought that that was a pretty good team that they'd beat there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they were solid for Tennessee.
I got to give them credit.
Yeah. Let's see by a show of hands how many people followed the Coosa Gordon Central game last night.
That was another one of my losses. I picked the Warriors to get their first win.
I had
Hamilton.
I had Gordon Central.
And they missed a PAT.
Yeah.
I had Gordon Central. And, honestly, I mean, that was you reminded me the game was on. So I kind of looked and seen who won. But I was like 7-6.
Yeah, and it was both teams had multiple turnovers inside the other team's red zone, and fumbles left and right, and then a blocked PAT. So I said Jose Valero, the kicker for Coosa, and he was a solid kicker. He won it with the PAT, but I was surprised that Gordon Central's quarterback Wilson, I just knew he was going to have some time in the pocket to throw. And they just couldn't make it happen. The Coosa defense was there to win that, what I called the battle of the bottom.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you pulling up some cool? I thought you had some replays there. I thought we were about to get some action-packed Coosa replays.
No, I don't have any Coosa replay.
I will say we had a big game up here in 4A. If anybody was that Heritage Northwest game, Northwest pulled it out in the end. So that's huge for Northwest. When you're talking
picked
about
Northwest in that one, but I really, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was close. It went down to the wire. So they pulled that out. So that is big for them for home field advantage for landing that 2 seed. One more thing. The last time I saw the Chattooga Indians with an undefeated record in region play was 1979. They were 5-0 in the region with wins over Ringo, Lafayette, Rossville, Calhoun, and Dalton.
And that was back when, no offense to Calhoun now, because they've won 1 million games, That was back when Calhoun was the, kind of the doormat back in the beginning of
1979. Only Lawrence was alive back then. Woo.
Now they made.
I was like 42 then, I think.
Yeah.
I'm there with you, Lawrence. I was around then.
I was around. Unfortunately, I was around during then.
I'm going to say that I wasn't nowhere near, but
if you was nowhere near, I definitely was nowhere near.
Well, thank you for looking that up.
How old do you think I am?
I'm only 21, so.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So yeah, you do make me feel old now. Thanks.
How many yards
really old?
How many yards did Rob Brown had tonight in the first half?
I don't know.
I saw that score was like 31.
Tryon has been looking good. Tryon's problem is they've only played one team with a winning record, and that was Bowden, and Bowden handled them pretty nasty. So Tryon doesn't have a win over a single team with a winning record either. Yeah. And Best is probably going to be worst in that region, six single A.
Yeah, the Best loss tonight. That pretty much locks Armurchie into the 4 seed, right?
Yep.
No, they have to beat Gordon Lee. They still have to beat Gordon Lee.
That's right. It's between Gordon Lee and Armurchie.
Boy, that's going to be a battle because Gordon
and Armurchie is hosting Tryon next week.
Yep.
Is that a Thursday game? I thought you said that was going to be a Thursday game.
Yep.
It is scheduled to be a Thursday game and should be a pretty interesting one.
Lawrence, you gonna ride to Fannin with us Friday?
I believe I'm going to Fannin Friday night.
Sounds good.
Tell Tim Tao to get the red carpet out.
I invited him on, but I mean he's the voice, so I don't know. He might show.
Hey, did I miss you guys talking about the big private school single A matchup with Darlington?
No, we have not talked about that yet.
We have not talked about it, but the score is up here, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that somebody can get on and tell us what happened there. It's 28-24 was the final, and I heard it went down to the wire. I heard Patrick Shelley basically put the team on his shoulder and won that one.
Yeah. I saw where he picked off a pass in the last minute maybe and scored the winning touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is an athlete. I had a chance to see him when they played Bremen I mean, he had a forced fumble, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, a pick six for a touchdown. He had he dove from 5 yards out to score. I mean that kid is a heck of an athlete.
Yeah. And Christian Heritage just proved. I mean, they don't have a good record, but they put up a fight every game.
Yeah. Now that's a team that has played. I don't know if they beat a team with a winning record, but they've played a lot of teams with a winning record.
Week in and week out, they have a tough schedule.
We talked about
that Rockmart score.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to bring up.
Yeah, I think it was around 55 or 56-0 at the half.
Yeah, I think it was.
I heard they actually had their entire JV in the whole fourth quarter, and they were still scoring. Now, Murray County has now been beat 78-0 by Ringgold and 72-0 by Rockmart. That's 160 points to nothing to just the two best teams in your own region.
Yeah. Looking down the list here, Lafayette picks up a big win over the Creek tonight, 27-14. Lafayette, outside chance of sneaking in there if they can win a couple more games, but
they still
on the schedule.
I think they still got
some meat.
Rockmart, and they'll still play Sonorville, North Murray.
So they got a little chicken left on the bone then.
My comment about Lafayette was they only had one more chance at a win, and that was tonight, and that's it.
That's what that's what we kind of talked about last week too. We thought it was going to be. I thought this game would be a little closer than what the score was, but kudos to Lafayette. If I'm not mistaken, I saw something come across Twitter that Lafayette's kicker made a 52-yard field goal. I think I saw that.
Wow.
Yeah, let me double check that. Don't quote me.
I wouldn't doubt it. He made. I saw him make 2 field goals against Model, and because the offense could not tie their shoelaces right, but the kicker was rock solid.
I'm going to see, but I'm pretty sure I saw that.
He booted I think a 34-yarder and a 40-yarder against the Model in a loss, and was just very solid.
I have a former boss that is a diehard Lafayette Rambler, and I think that's where I saw it at. Yes, sir. 52-yarder by their kicker. It was early.
Wow.
What is this kid's name?
I'm gonna max prep him right quick because he deserves a
personal shout out.
How far was it?
52.
People who, for one
52.
reason or another, inspire us.
Sorry, I got a good old max prep pad going.
So Central, when that 7-4A moved into the third spot after beating Pickens?
Now they'll move into the fourth spot. And that was a big win for them. That was at Pickens.
Absolutely. That was a huge upset, I thought.
I see it as an upset. I thought Pickens would win that. So that throws a monkey wrench and everything. So we're still going on 7-4A trying to figure out where everybody's going to end up. But I will say that Northwest is now in the driver's seat. They've got one more big one remaining, and that's Pickens for that home playoff game.
Yeah, I seen the thing just a second ago where it said Cedartown was 3-0 in region, Northwest was 2-1, Heritage is 2-1, Central at 1-2, Pickens at 1-2, and then Ridgeland at 0-3.
So now that Heritage and Pickens game becomes huge because this could be an elimination game. Well, actually, no, because Heritage had beat Central. So I don't know. We'll have to lay out all the scenarios how that works out.
Yeah,
Region get muddy.
Yeah,
Region 7 up there is definitely still real convoluted.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find out who the kicker is. It's.
Do you know what number he is?
No, I do not. That's what I'm. Okay, let's see. Kickoffs, punts.
While you're looking for that, make sure you post it later on. I'm going to sign out here. My boy Rowan just came in. We got to make an early morning drive to Virginia for another recruiting trip. He's still getting a good number of offers, and his Twitter's blowing up. So I got to get him on the road at about 4 a.m.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Jordan.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We'll see you.
Their kickoff guy, I would guess it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Says number 9. So let me go to their lineup. I don't know why it doesn't say his name there. Jacob Brown is listed as a junior kicker.
Well, a 52-yarder is a pretty good thing to
show
all the on your huddle videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys see that tweet last week from that kid in Fort Payne that almost hit that 69-yarder?
Yeah, I saw that. I had shared that. That was, I mean, he only come up a couple yards short.
You know who that guy is, right?
Yeah. We saw his brother play Chattooga, right?
Yeah. And he was a pregame from the opposite side of the field, making them. You know, his brother Evan, he played at Florida.
Yeah.
And he's kicking he's in the NFL now.
The Bengals, I think somebody said. The Bengals.
Evan McPherson.
That's him.
McPherson. That's his name.
And I think his brother is committed to an SEC school, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a weapon.
Yeah, he committed to Auburn before the season, I think.
He's a big weapon, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess it's in their bloodline.
Yeah.
Kick out in the yard with Big Brother. Oh, look here, we got another addition. RJ. Man, what a tough one tonight.
He looks sad over there.
Yeah. It's sick of how that ball game ended.
Oh, man. Tell us about it.
Well, started off pretty well for the Dragons in the first quarter. 38-yard field goal for Jose Sanchez. Put the Dragons up 3-0 after one quarter. And then they got a touchdown with Sam Stryker finding Isaiah Williams. Sophomore to sophomore connection there for a 24-yard touchdown. Made it 10-0. And then the Dragons were going, they were driving again to try and score, but Central's defensive back, wide receiver threat, Vicari Swain, picked it off at the 5-yard line, made a man miss, and then took it all the way back for a touchdown.
Yeah, I saw where he picked up an SEC offer this week. Swain.
Yeah, he picked up a Vanderbilt offer earlier this week. So he made it 10-7, and that's what it was. But yeah, just it's a tough second half for the Dragons. Really couldn't get anything going. Took the lead late in the fourth quarter. Stryker found Devin Hand in the corner of the end zone. And then the Dragons took a 17-13 lead and then forced a Central punt. The Dragons went for it. They tried to chew some clock. Went for it on 4th and short. Brought in their what they call their jumbo package. Brought in a couple of defensive linemen in and to help push for the offensive line, but a misjudged snap prevented that from going on, and Central took that and on their next drive they drove down the field and was on the 1-yard line for all 4 downs, but finally got in the end zone to retake the lead, 20-17. Dragons still had a shot. They had 131 to drive down the field, had a 4th down conversion, had a 3rd down conversion, and then Stryker ran to the near side of the field, his left, got the 1st down, got out of bounds, got hit out of bounds late. Sideline official did not call it. That that left about 10 seconds left or so. Didn't call the late hit or the helmet to helmet, which it was both. That did not go called. The Dragons went for the field goal to tie it, 44-yard field goal. And when I tell you it missed, if this is the upright, it went like that, right around it. And
did anybody got any video of that? You know of anybody that was filming that, so you can take a look at it? I mean, that's tough, man.
Yeah, I know our local cable station that covers games, ETC, was at the ball game. But it was a tough way to end it. And it was senior night, and he's senior kicker, so he was feeling bad. But what Coach Myers told him after the ball game was, "You got Dragons were the better team, and they showed it that they were the better team pretty much the whole way. But obviously, sometimes the better team doesn't come out the victors, especially when you make some critical mistakes down the stretch. And now the Dragons have a bye week next week to refocus because they have 2 big road games coming up against Heritage and Northwest to close out the year.
Big ones. Yeah, those are going to be interesting to see how those games go.
So, Lawrence, I don't know if you heard earlier, I'd seen Seth Griffin had 5 first-half touchdowns tonight.
I saw that. Amazing.
There are teams in Georgia that don't have 5 passing touchdowns on the year.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And
I don't think this is the first time he's done it.
Yeah, I got kind of worried there, Chris, early. When you text out that first score, I was like, "Whoa! I mean, we're going to see an upset tonight, or what?"
No, they LFO come out pumped.
7-0? Yeah.
Yeah, they made a couple of good plays right there at the beginning, but they had about 4 or 5 turnovers. I think that's what decided it, because each turnover gives North Murray great field position, and Seth just had his receivers and he just picked them apart.
I saw our bright side tonight for the Warriors was our man Gott finally got one, huh? He finally got him a touchdown.
Yeah, and he's an amazing athlete. So I wasn't happy to see him score a touchdown, but it was fun to watch. I mean,
yeah.
So it was a 95-yard kickoff return. So I'm sure you'll see that in huddle videos.
Oh yeah, that'll be on his highlight reel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But RJ, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you still coming on, even though you had a tough defeat. Most people wouldn't still show, but hey, they're not out of it yet. They still got plenty of games where they can come right back and
2 big ones.
Playoff spot. Yeah.
If they can get these last 2, they can climb over Central at least into a playoff spot. Central still got Cedartown, so
oh yeah,
we'll see how things go.
Mm-hmm. Cedartown is I think they had a big win tonight. I'm not sure what the final was. It was a little closer than what I thought. I think it was 50-6.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the halftime score was 50-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they did the right thing then. They got the young kids better is what they did. So
yeah.
So the backups gave up 6 to Ridgeland.
Yeah, I think the starters were out after the first quarter. I saw it was 35-0 after the first, and I think they killed everybody.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. All righty. Trying to think of any other games right here that we can.
Oh, that Darlington game.
Yeah.
I was looking at their box score, and one of the coaches had tweeted out, and I was looking at it. It was 3-0 going into halftime. Darlington was down.
Wow.
Both teams 14 in the fourth quarter for Darlington to go on top and win it. So all he tweeted out was that Patrick Shelley kind of my bad, not Shelley, Sheely, put the team on his back. So
I'm sure you guys have already talked about the Cartersville game too, huh?
No.
No, we haven't actually.
The score was a lot closer than what the game was. I think it was 35-7 at one time. Canes early.
Yeah, BT. Didn't BT play Calhoun to the wire the other day, and then So
Yeah.
that kind of
That gives you an idea how that Calhoun versus Cartersville game is going to go.
yeah, I would kind of lean Cartersville by a few touchdowns, but I mean you never know. I don't know where the game's at, so I'd have to
In
look at the
Cartersville.
schedule. Is it?
It's in Cartersville.
It'll still be packed. There'll be thousands of people there for sure.
Yeah, they somehow get a hurricane warning every Friday night down there. That's weird.
I have to agree with this one. Patrick Shelley, best athlete in Northwest Georgia.
I had to disagree.
The kick and hoop. I mean the kick and hoop, man.
Hey, I'm going with my offensive line. So
There's some
It might
pretty
be
good
better.
athletes in
Yeah.
Northwest
Hey,
Georgia, though. I
hey,
mean,
Yeah.
they great athletes.
Yeah, I
it's
think
kind of
that
hard to pick one.
I think that offensive line might be the best offensive line in Northwest Georgia. I don't know about athletes though. I don't know.
Hey, there's nothing like coming to Haralson County. You walk out of your field house, and you look at Haralson County, and all you see is just 5 big guys with mullets looking back at you, and you know that at the end of the day, them cornbread fed men are gonna whoop your tail down and up the field.
Yeah. I hope we don't see those guys.
Then that 6'5", 240-pound quarterback steps out behind them, and you're like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight it was. Hey, by the way, when you said that there's some teams didn't have 5 passing touchdowns, Clay threw for his 5th one tonight. So
Oh,
he
okay.
got
So
5.
he's right on there.
He threw for a 34-yard one. So
I
he
guess.
should have had 3. He overthrew one by about 10 yards and underthrew one by about 10 yards. But they gassed Temple's defense. They was all in the box waiting for the run, and they had them beat big time.
I don't honestly know how many passing touchdowns we've had this year at Chattooga. 6.
Hey, y'all.
6 passing touchdowns.
You got Clay beat, so.
All right, fellas, I'm about to jump off here, man. I got a little fella sleeping behind me here.
Yeah,
I know.
what beach are you at? You didn't even give us a beach view.
We're at Panama City, man. The water's right behind the glass over there.
Yeah.
Did you take in a game this evening?
I did. I went and watched Sergeant Davis, man. He's coaching the running backs at Mosley High School. They're ranked number 4 in 6A down here in Florida, and they were playing the number 13 team, man. You talk about athletes, speed, size. It's crazy.
Wow.
After watching Class A for the last month, seeing these guys, freaking amazing.
Whole different animal.
Yeah.
Whole different animal. I was just standing there with my mouth open the whole first half. I see why now. I see why now. When the college coaches are looking at the quarterback, they care about arm strength. They don't care how far you can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Because you can't throw the ball 40 yards on these guys because the safety will cover the whole field.
Yeah. That's you have small, tight windows with that defensive backfield especially the next level. I mean, you got speed. They can close those windows, so you got to have that arm strength. I mean, you got to be able to throw bullets, and that's what everybody tells me they're looking for.
I saw a kid that was wide open about 30 yards downfield on the sidelines, and they threw it to him. And by the time the ball got there, the safety had come across from the center of the field, tapped it.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like you always talk about the college level. I've been to that level from my 3A. We was 3A at the time, and I went to NAIA school at first, and then I transferred to Shorter. That's the difference. Is at Haralson County, I was the biggest person. And you're the biggest person. I got to college, and I was one of the shortest. And I was like, well, this is a game step up, and it is so much different. Instead of as my college coach, Coach Morrison at Shorter, I love that man. He's about to welcome his first child. It's such a blessing. As he told me, he said, in high school, you're probably the best athlete on the field. He said, in college, it's best on best. Yep. Not just a good athlete versus your best athlete. It's that all-state athlete versus that all-state athlete, and which one's going to win.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence, I think you're going to get off here. I've got to get off here myself.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Enjoyed it, man. Yeah.
All right, see you.
All right, man.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on with us, and thanks for having me on. And I will see you guys next Friday.
All right.
So I gotta go.
I'm going to I'm going to stay on just for a few more minutes, probably not too much longer, but I got a few highlights that I jammed up and recorded for from tonight's game between Chattooga and Dade. Finally getting to see Chattooga's running back get back almost to full health. I wouldn't say he's all the way there, but let's see if we can.
I'm gonna send you a highlight of Clay that I want you to show.
All right. Lester, he's over 4,000 yards in his career, and he ain't been making cuts or anything. They've seen a little high step move there. He's had a injured leg, and the burst there is way better than what I've seen all year. Just a few of his highlights. Dade men in position. Boop.
Yeah.
Stick your foot in the ground and get upfield. That changes the game when he's healthy, man. When you got a back like that, that can tote the rock. That's a big game changer.
What's his offer sheet look like?
UAB. I don't know all of them. I feel bad that I don't know all of them. Let's see. He's probably got them posted. Let me look here. Even injured, he was over the 500-yard mark through 5 games. So just gutting it out, just doing the best you can for the team. And then
you talking about him grinding it out when he was hurt and everything. If you remember back my senior year, we had Traylon Shepard, a great athlete. He ran for over 2,000 yards his senior year, and he ran for over 150 yards in the playoff game that we lost to Dawson County with an arm that he couldn't touch nobody with. It was so braced up. He had to tape it so much that it hurt there in Murray County. And he's a $165, and he was running through the middle, running over people still. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah. Lester, he probably goes 5'10", probably about 215, probably 210, 215. So he's put together well, and he used to be a lot bigger than that. They said he was 215 his freshman year, but man, that guy was he was 225. He had to be 230. But anyway, it's good to see him back healthy. Is basically what I'm getting at, and that gives us a lot better shot at trying to do something magical in Fannin next week, because I know that Fannin's going to be ready. And last year we hung with them for a little bit, but they were just too good. I mean, they threw the ball with Holloway, and of course, Seth Reese is back. We all know that name.
I'm kind of glad that Pickens has a bye week next week, so I can watch that one. That'll be a good one to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have it on their YouTube. But how far is Fannin from Pickens?
It's an hour drive.
Okay, an hour.
Yeah.
It's
you
about
just go up 5:15 and you're there.
From where I'm at, I think I'm probably an hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2. I hadn't even mapped it yet.
From Fannin?
Yeah. You're probably further than that, aren't you?
That's what I'm about to look up.
I'm an hour and 49 minutes is what it says.
I remember in rec league, we played Fannin County, Pickens, and the state. Well, it was district. I remember we played them in basketball, and they killed us.
Yeah, Fannin and Pickens are playing each other next week in the I think it's the 8th grade Mountain League football championship.
Ah.
That 8th grade team for Pickens hasn't since joining the Mountain Football League. That 8th grade kids haven't lost a ball game.
Man, you got a lot of good young talent. I mean, you're calling out your playmakers from the night, and you were saying sophomore, and I'm like, man, Pickens
Yeah,
going to be tough to deal with. Moving forward, not only this year but in the next 2 years.
yeah.
Because I
Next
mean,
couple of
a
years.
top stretcher is a senior. Woo.
Yeah, especially if they stay 4A or if they maybe even go down to 3A. That's going to be something to look out for because
Yeah, where would the possible landing spots be if they did move to 3A? Have you looked at that? Like what region they might could settle in?
the dream scenario would be in the same region with Gilmer and Lumpkin and Dawson and White and all that, and
Yeah,
they would
that just makes sense, right?
because it's just all right there
Yeah,
with them all. Instead of going hour 30 minutes, 2 hours out of your way, every which way,
yeah,
where you're at now.
They did that. They did that to us my senior year. They put us in that 3A with North Murray and Murray, LFO, Calhoun, and all of them. They put us in that region. And when we was in it, we had to do a split region because there was so many teams that if we played it, we would have had 8 or 9 region games.
yeah.
So we split it, and I know we had in our region it was Calhoun, LFO, North Murray, Murray County, and Kahula Creek. And I remember LFO beat us both years on our homecoming on a last-second field goal.
Mm. Where does Haralson stand as far as the reclass look? Do you know?
I was looking at some of their numbers the other day, and I think they stay
Solid AAA. I mean,
I remember because when I was there, we made the cut by like 3 people to be able to stay in AAA, and then I graduated with 220 in my class, and then last year they graduated with under 180. So
yeah.
I know that not that they're going downhill, but they're not. There's not as many people in school.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to bring up. It looks like they're talking about Rockmart is probably going to come back down, and they'll end up in that region with y'all most likely. So that'll be
we took
a bloodbath.
If I'm not mistaken, we took their spot, or yeah,
I'm sure you did. Yeah,
we moved down to.
They were in 7AA, and then they moved when they moved up. They moved to AAA, but just location wise, it makes more sense to have them play, those teams down there because it's much closer than, having to travel to Dade County and all that.
Of course, because Callaway is our furthest game. Because we're right around Temple's, 20 minutes from us. Even single A Mount Zion. My camera just fell. My bad.
No, you're good.
They're like 15 minutes from us. 4A Central's about 25. Carrollton, who's 6A, are they 6A?
Big, yeah, 6A, yeah.
They're another 20 minutes from us. Bremen is pretty much our backyard. That's our big rivalry game. The rednecks versus the rich kids, as everybody call it. And Heard County, even Cedartown's right here close to us.
Yeah, I mean the Rock isn't very far. I mean the Rock, 30 minutes maybe to Rockmart from Haralson.
Oh yeah, that that
just makes too much.
About 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be. We played them in baseball. They always beat us in baseball in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I played JV because, big guys ain't supposed to be pitchers. So I was a pitcher. So I know we played them in JV and they just whooped us like we were nothing.
What was you gonna say, RJ?
I was gonna say I would definitely love it if we can get back into a region with Gilmer and all those teams because, I mean, you're the closest region game now for Pickens is Southeast Whitfield.
Wow.
For anything, and Southeast Whitfield's an hour away.
I mean, you play in a lot of sports that play like daily. So if you're going on a Tuesday to Ridgeland, that's a trip.
Yeah, and you can't do that to kids on a school night
no.
either way,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's you're going to get back. Either way, you're going to get back at midnight the next day. So
Yeah, that's a tough situation. And hopefully they'll try to keep that in mind when they address that. When
yeah,
they
and
put those regions out.
same thing with Central Carroll.
Yeah.
Central Carroll's in a tough spot because their closest is probably us, and they're like an hour 45 minutes away from us. So
Yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking when they added Central, and I can understand Cedartown a little bit because Cedartown played everybody that's in the region before, but adding Central just didn't make sense to me, and it still doesn't make sense to me. So we'll have to see what they end up doing.
Did they add Central this year?
It was last year, so they took out. Forget who they took out, but they added Cedartown and Central last year. Gilmer dropped down, and it was Gilmer and Lafayette. Gilmer and Lafayette dropped down to 3A, and then they brought over Cedartown and Central over from Region 5. They got them away from Cartersville at the time.
I remember when we reclassified, we went from playing Adairsville. Well, from my senior year, we played Adairsville, Calhoun, and all them. So they reclassified where Calhoun, if I'm not mistaken, they're 4A now, correct?
5.
5A. So they reclassified. Oh, they jumped to 5A?
The multiplier got them.
Yep.
They jumped two classifications. We dropped down, and then everybody else, I think, stayed the same.
They're from what I hear, they'll probably go again when
they're probably going to at least go 6A.
Yep.
And what's crazy is they stayed competitive because when we played them, they was on a tear of, I think they had won 17 out of the last 18 region championships, and then they jumped up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you could. I heard them talking. You could have a region in 6A that would have a possible Calhoun, Cartersville. Somebody else was in that conversation. I can't remember exactly.
Maybe Rome.
I think Rome is safe in 6A, but they're taking the cap off of it, so you can. If you're in 6A now, currently you couldn't be bumped to 7A because they were kind of separating those. Well, that's no more. They voted that down. So basically, anybody who was restricted by that last year and has the same numbers, hello 7A, hello Collins.
Does Carrollton jump up or no?
It's kind of hard. I mean, I've seen a couple people that have tried to guess at what's going to happen. The AJC put something out. I'm trying to find it right now, but they were attempting to guess with the 3.0 multiplier, going off of last year's numbers. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I saw that, and it had Pickens at probably the last 4A team. So, and a couple of years ago, it was the opposite. A couple of years ago, they were the top 4A team, and that's what happens, I guess, in mountain cities up here in a deeper part of Georgia where you get up and down with your classes and everything. So I think they've got Pickens has a big 8th grade class coming in, but other than that, I think after that it slows down a bit. So it'll be interesting to see if they stay.
For sure. Looking here, man, this really don't tell me what I want to know. Anyway, I can't find anything. I can't find one of those
AJC's sad these days because I can't even go and look at the Maxwell ratings without them telling you, oh yeah, you need to subscribe to read the rest of this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's what you get. Everything's went online now. I mean, you don't even see a lot of regular papers. That's old school. But anyway, we'll try to get something when that comes closer to time. I mean, they'll probably put that out. What, December? Is that when they put that out, or January?
I think they're gonna figure. I think they figured everything, or they're gonna get all the numbers by the end of the month, maybe early November, and then I guess have something out by January.
Yeah. I know just by going by last year's numbers, Pickens was right at the
they were like halfway.
Yeah, I'm looking now, 1350, which is like right in the middle. So it's going to be hard. They don't have a lot of
multiplier's not going to affect them at all either. So
yeah, it shouldn't. I agree, it shouldn't affect them. Now, when it comes down to 5AA, it shouldn't be. I think they've seen one or two teams that might be affected. Bremen sitting there with a 211 out of zone. Is Bremen? Yeah, Bremen's in 5AA, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
919, third largest in 2A.
It's Bremen, Callaway, Haralson County, Heard County, and Temple.
Yeah, Haralson is after the multiplier is only 905, and they only have 3 out of zone. So I think Haralson will most likely be safe, unless there's a ton of AAA schools that come down, because they're like the 6th largest 2A school. And then the others that you called for, like Callaway, they're way down there in the 860s. I don't even see the other schools. Temple is at 625, so they're not going anywhere. The schools that we cover here in Rome, or that I cover here in Rome, Chattooga's at 764, so they're nowhere close. Coosa's down there. Gordon Central, they're in 2A right now, and they're up 920. They're the second largest, so you might see GC bump up, but I would imagine that GC would probably petition to stay in AA and probably get accepted just because of their history. They've been having a tough time to win in AA, so some of the programs. But all righty. Well, I appreciate you joining, RJ. I'm going to
no problem. Thank you.
I'm going to get off here, and you're welcome to join anytime. Friday nights we start at 11. We try to get all the scores out from the Northwest Georgia area. I know we don't cover all of your area, but we do cover Pickens every week. So we're glad to hear from you. But I have a golf in the morning, and we'll get out of here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Until next time.